news that's just coming in at this point in time. The government sources are telling us that the Civil Aviation Minister is in talks with law enforcement to spot hoax callers for the no-fly list. Now, the MHA, Civil Aviation Ministry and the Bureau of Civil Aviation Security are jointly looking at this issue. Now, do remember that in the past 72 hours or so, we've had about 12 hoaxes that have come in, and this has thrown the aviation sector into awry rather. Let me go across to Shrimi, who's bringing us this exclusive. Hi, Shrimi, take us through the details of what you're picking up on this.
Yeah, so of course the Ministry of Civil Aviation is in talks with all the law enforcement agencies, and in fact Ministry of Home Affairs is working closely with Ministry of Civil Aviation and the related department, because it's a security issue as well, and they are taking it, the government is taking it very, very seriously is what we are picking up from our sources. In fact, the thing is that they are also trying to seek intervention of telecom authorities on all the callers and people who are sending, calling, and of course sending some tweets and emails, and they are told to identify such people. And this is coming at a point, that at this time we are on the verge of diplomatic issues with Canada, and some of the airlines are facing, especially the jet ones in Singapore, where passenger safeguard has been, in question. So it's kind of a government is trying to sort of safeguard each and every details, and all the important ministries are working together and trying to find a solution at that how to sort of stop this 12, 13 calls so far made in last, 24 hours, how to sort of get the details of that and take action against these entire syndicate who is actually working, for this. So that's what we are, in fact, we are also getting sense on the point that this whole bomb threat assessment committee, which is there with all the major airports, they are also assessing the situation. And in fact, they said that this is very important. All the airlines are trying to get resolution from the government because, of course, you see, this is the festival season, and they are this whole delays and diversion is causing, a lot of impact on their financial. And in fact, they are saying that this is very much, similar to weather kind of diversion, where we face and bear cost of crew, passenger, and in fact goodwill as well. So. The thing is that airlines also is not in a comfortable position given the situation at this point of time, and they are also seeking faster resolution from the government.
Any idea about the kind of steps that are now being taken, in association with all these agencies to try and find out where these hoax calls are coming from, and also perhaps set up a mechanism to deal with this?
Yeah, so that's what the Ministry of Home Affairs, because it deals with entire security issues, Nupur. So they are trying to they are in fact had a high-level meeting as well, where they are trying to, figure out the mechanism, how to stop such things and be very sure that these are hoax calls and they shouldn't be done. So they are trying to chalk out the plan, chalk out the way how to sort of mitigate these things and shouldn't be happening in future. So, of course, they are very clear on the part that we need to be getting all the relevant departments and ministry concerned on board, trying to get inputs from each and every department, and still in the in works that how to sort of have a mechanism or safeguarding as far as these calls are concerned.
Shrimi, do stay with us. Also joining us on the
sure.
broadcast right now is aviation consultant Sanjay Lazar. Sanjay, hi. Thank you for joining us at such short notice. Sanjay, this has almost become a daily issue. Now, we've seen about 12 hoax calls in the past 72 hours. There was a meeting that's been called by various departments of the government to try to get to the bottom of this. But ideally, there should be a response that should already be in place for this. So give us a sense of what we are looking at, and how do you think the various departments can perhaps put in a mechanism to deal with this menace?
Thank you for having me. And yes, I'm sorry I'm not on video, but yeah, according to me, actually, there have been about 15 now hoaxes in the last 72 hours to 96 hours, and that's unprecedented in our aviation history until now. There are a lot of issues connected to this, but the most important thing is that I mentioned on social media a couple of days ago when this Indo-Canadian thing happened that there a lot of terrorist groups, a lot of anti-Indian groups will now get a fillip, and we need to tighten our belts for that. The aviation ministry should sharpen pre-departure sanitization. Passenger pre-departure checks need to be tightened by the BCAS and the CISF. Heightened cyber surveillance of inbound lines at airports, airlines by the government and police authorities. Seek cooperation of social media companies like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, because some of these threats are coming via social media. Create a committee of stakeholders and experts to meet and share intel daily. And these are some of the steps. Now, I understand it's causing inconvenience when an airline gets a bomb threat or the government gets a bomb threat and the aircraft has to, divert. But we have to understand that, for the pilot in command, there is no other go. This is, an unnecessary and important part of aviation. You cannot take a chance with human lives. We'd rather be delayed than have some mishap happen. So this is, these are some of the things that you can do. You cannot ignore hoax calls or bomb threats or calls wherever they may be. We've already seen disastrous effects in some of those, incidents across the world in the last 30, 40 years. So that's my sense of it. I think we have to grin and bear it a little while, knowing that, our safety is paramount for all these airlines.
Absolutely, Sanjay. As you're pointing out, obviously, safety and security for passengers comes first. There's no doubt about it. But, administratively, airlines will not be in a comfortable position, specifically in this festive season, where people are flying home. There are a lot of extra, passengers. The footfall is greater to deal with this sort of an issue.
Yes, of course. Airlines have to... it's going to be a burden for the airlines. It's going to be a burden on the passengers. But then, like I said, you have to take the steps when it happens. We all know I was, flying when 9/11, just before 9/11 and after 9/11. We know the differences it made to our lives. I know that, when the UK went through the liquid explosive threats, every passenger in the world his life has changed, and it's changed until today. So, we have to make the sacrifices if we want to fly. We have to make those sacrifices if we want to...
Well, all right, we seem to have lost that connection with Sanjay over there. But Sanjay Lazar, an aviation consultant, speaking about the fact that these are very real issues that airlines now have to deal with. But obviously, passenger safety does come first. Let me also go across to Aditya. Aditya, you have been reporting constantly on these bomb threats that we have seen in the last 72 hours or so. There was also a press conference earlier today. Give us a sense of the kind of actions that the government may perhaps be looking at now.
Yeah, there has been quite a lot of turbulence in the air for the aviation industry with these bomb threats right now, because there are multiple bomb threats that these airlines have received, and because of which more than 12 flights have been delayed, diverted or cancelled in these last 3 days. And now what basically has come up from the press conference that Mumbai police has done. Mumbai police has arrested one person in connection to this case, and this one person who has been arrested is from Rajnandgaon, Chhattisgarh. Now, what Mumbai police has to say is that a case was registered on the early morning of 14th of this month, and after that, an investigation was initiated. During this investigation, a team was sent to Rajnandgaon, Chhattisgarh, from where these tweets were posted, and this minor was taken into remand, and now Mumbai police has a remand of this minor. Also, Mumbai police has found out that this minor had posted the tweets from another major Twitter handle, and Mumbai police has established a personal feud between this minor and the major. Mumbai police is suspecting that this personal feud led to the minor posting these tweets, which basically further led to diversion of these airlines, of these flights, or created a ruckus for the aviation industry. And these hoax bomb threats are not being taken lightly even by Mumbai police right now, because the Mumbai police has made it very clear that the investigation is still underway. And after I asked a question regarding the relatability of tweets that were being posted from different Twitter handles, Mumbai police said that as of now they have not been able to establish any connection between the different Twitter handles that those were posting these tweets, but the investigation is still underway, and I hope that this issue gets resolved sooner the better.
All right, now, as you're pointing out, of course, the Mumbai police seems to have arrested one person in this case, but the number of these hoax calls that we are seeing, Aditya, are a bit alarming, aren't they?
Exactly. These hoax calls are quite alarming, and let me also tell you that after the high-level meeting of Civil Aviation Ministry was being held in Delhi today, and this meeting was also attended by many senior officials from different airlines, and DGCA was there, and all the other senior security officials were there. And despite this meeting being held, and after one arrest made by Mumbai police, we still got the reports of two hoax calls of bomb threats being made, and one flight of Akasa and one Indigo flight was again diverted today. So this is certainly something which is very alarming, very concerning, and government has made their stand very clear that they are not going to take any of these threats any lightly, and definitely they are going to get to the depth of the matter and find out who is behind this notorious act.
All right, Aditya, thanks for that. Let's go back to Shrimi, who got us this exclusive. Now, Shrimi, for airlines, this is a situation where, you know, if they don't take due care for these threats, they're in trouble. But if they do, and as we've seen a number of diversions, it does have a lot of financial implications. What are you hearing from the airlines?
Yeah, that's right. In fact, as you know, our colleague pointed out that this high-level meeting, which has been taking place in where a lot of airlines were there, and they have you know, raised this issue with the government official, talking about that they are bearing all the cost, you know. And their internal assessment somewhere pointing out that they have the moderate impact, and this diversion and delays are more or less similar to weather diversion, which is, you know, they always expect this, that you see that financial getting impacted due to such diversion, and this is also similar one. So what they are saying that this is a festive season where airlines expect a lot of, you know, turnaround, and then accordingly they the seats and everything gets booked, and a lot of footfalls, of course, and they expect a lot of business at this point of time. But when the situation like this, where the you know, the delays are happening, it's very difficult for them to sort of sail through this entire situation. So the internal assessment is there that there is a moderate impact at this point of time, but the amount, the quantum, if you ask me, they have not done yet. They are still doing it, but they are saying that it is, they are not comfortable with such a situation, and of course seeking faster resolution from the government in today's meeting also, and they are also writing to them. I also want to add one more point on the on this whole Mumbai police who actually arrested somebody. What I'm also picking up from our sources in law enforcement agencies, Nupur, that they are suspecting, and in fact they are trying to form a special team to sort of look into it. And they are suspecting that they're either a group of individuals who are working as a syndicate, or one sort of syndicate, one agency, which is there who is doing the entire,
Okay.
act of such. Yeah.
All right, Shrimi, I'm going to ask you to wait on. We've got Captain Amit Singh, the founder of Safety Matters Foundation, also joining us right now. Captain Singh, thank you for joining us at such short notice. Now, what we are seeing, of course, is unprecedented in a sense because in the past 72 hours, there have been about 12 bomb hoaxes. This, of course, has now led the government to meet with various stakeholders, and they are looking at measures to be put in place. But what is it, according to you, that can be the way forward in this?
Well, this is an organized crime. It happens so frequently, and the events are closely spaced. So it is all about risk assessment. What happens? Differentiate between a genuine, serious, or a low-level threat. It all depends on the person who's calling or whatever way they're posting these threats on social media. So the type of language they're using. So these are all for the cyber crime and security agencies to determine the kind of threat and pass it on. Operationally and procedurally, the airlines and the crew have very little role except to follow the SOP and treat every threat as genuine until it is 100% proven that there is no explosive or a bomb on board. That is when it is declared a hoax. So operationally, we cannot do anything unless we are told from the ground that this threat is a low-level threat, because there is no specific indication. It could be a generic thing, or the same person is calling again and again. So that kind of risk assessment has to be done by the authorities, security agencies, cybercrime people on ground. The airlines and the crew on board have very little to do except to handle the situation.
All right.
The cost implication of this is pretty high. Nobody has put a cost on it, but the FAA, the US agency, sometime back had put a cost which translates to around 50 to 60 lakhs per diversion. Now it depends on the size of the aircraft and the route they are flying. And if you go outside India, the moment you get a hoax call, fighters are scrambled. The cost of scrambling fighters is about, they have charged people to the tune of 100,000 euros or dollars. So that is the cost of scrambling a F-16 or any other fighter jet to escort the aircraft. So cost implications are pretty high, and seeing the number of such incidents happening, it will take a toll. America has faced this in the late 80s to the tune of about $3 million they have lost in the 80s. That would be a enormous amount in today's date. So yes, the cost implication and the diversions, the inconvenience associated, the people who are deployed to recover aircrafts, crew will get stuck because if the aircraft, the India aircraft got stuck on the way to US. So these kind of things need to be assessed on ground by people who are well versed with all these this kind of criminal activity.
Right, absolutely. Captain Singh, thank you very much for joining us and putting that in perspective for us. Let's also go back to Aditya now. Aditya, what we are seeing right now is obviously going to translate into a lot of security actually be putting in place in, on these airports. Perhaps even in flights, like you in the US have these flight marshals who are always there. So what is the sense that you are getting? Is the security overall, so to say, on the cards now?
Well, Nupur, surprisingly, the security has not been beefed up at Mumbai airport because Mumbai police in its press conference made it very clear that these calls are being treated as only hoax calls, and on the basis of hoax calls, they do not want to beef up the security at the Mumbai airport because it's the festive season right now and there are many people traveling to their home, and right now if the security gets beefed up, there might be a lot of panic at the airport.
Right. So as you're pointing out, of course, there might be panic at the airport, but for the airlines, Aditya, it's not been an easy situation. It's extremely uncomfortable. And of course, there are a lot of financial implications as well.
Absolutely, Nupur. We reached out to the airlines in this matter, and I wrote to Air India and Indigo as well. But because the Civil Aviation Ministry is involved and the different security agencies are involved in this entire issue, Air India has made it very clear that till the matter is resolved and till the ministry comes out with a dialogue and a solution to this entire issue, the airline would not be able to release any of the financial implications that are being associated with this entire thing. Now, Indigo's response is still awaited. Indigo has not responded as of now, but as and when we get the response from Indigo, we'll definitely keep our viewers updated on the same.
All right, Aditya, thank you very much for joining us with those updates. So that's the latest that we are getting. NDTV Profit has managed to get you exclusive information on how the government is dealing with these hoax calls and also put in place a mechanism that may involve various ministries.